What's on the street indicated or indicates that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is set to rename Nigeria to United States of Nigeria, USN. Don't forget what is triggering this. What is triggering this simply because the United States of Biafra have said, okay, that they are ready to work with the United States of Biafra. United States of America. We are ready to work with USB, which is United States of Biafra. So Nigerian government, as a copycat they are. In fact, to me, they have bowed to pressure. Because there was another man who made a comment. The time they brought on, during Buhari, they said, if, how did the man say that in 2018? Okay, the man said, if Nigeria ever change their name from what it used to be to United States of Nigeria, automatically Biafrans have gotten their independence. So Nigeria finally have bowed to pressure from the Biafrans, and they have agreed to divide the country into having a United States of Biafra and also United States of Nigeria. So those who believe in one Nigeria should belong to the United States of Nigeria, and those ones who still believe on the ideology of Biafrans will then have their own separate country called United States of Biafra. In case you don't know, I'm here to let you know. Look, I have been turning this over in my mind for days, according to the information before me here. Sifting through the tangled history of this country we called Nigeria. And I have to say, the moves comes out of Abuja these few days feel like a desperate scramble against the tide. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Jagaban from Lagos, who built his empire on the greed and backroom deals, pushing to rebrand the whole federation as the United States of Nigeria, even when they are not united. It is not just a name change, it is a Hail Mary, a nod to the American model that whispers federalism without daring to deliver it. But let's be real, or rather let's be realistic. Names don't fix fractures. That is the truth. The paper over them, and with the ghost of Biafra still ratting chains in the southeast, this feels like pouring perfume on a dead corpse. You remember how we got here with question mark, and that is what I'm asking you. Not the sanitized textbooks, but the raw truth. Back in 1914, Lord Lugard stitched together the Northern Caliphate and the Southern Protectorates like a drunk tailor, calling it Nigeria, that is Niger area or Niger Company. After his Paramore Flora Shaw, a name that always rang hollow, more colonial senior than nation building blueprint. Fast forward to 1960 when they have what they call independence, and the cracks show immediately. The 1966 coup, the pogroms against the Ndibo, the oil boom that flooded the north with petrodollars, while the east starved for equity. Then in 1967, Ojukwu stands on that balcony in Enugu and declares Biafra, which pushed the Nigerian state into carrying out a genocide. I repeat, carry out a total genocide that swallowed 3.5 million lives, mostly children, bloated bellies from Kwashiorkor that still haunts my nightmares when I read the old dispatches. Britain and the Soviets, armed with the federal governments, Biafra begged for relief that never came by 1970. It was over. The war criminal Yakubu Gowon preaching, no victor, no vanquished. But the scares, they festered into marginalization, quota system that mocked merit, and a constitution in 1979 that centralized power like a first hand. The truth. Tinubu knows this history better than most of us telling it today. He cut his teeth in Nadeko, smuggling democracy dreams from exile in the States. But now, from the villa, He's playing the same game. Suppress the voices screaming for self-determination, then dangle restructuring like a carrot. Take Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that man's been a thorn since he fired up Radio Biafra from London in 2015. Broadcasting the old wound to a generation glued to their phones. The DSS snatched him in 2015, charged him with treasonable felony, but the courts kept tossing it back until unlawful rendition from Kenya in 2021. Violations of due process, yet here we are. November 2025, that was when, here we are. Yet where we are, December 2025, I'm not going to see writing. Life sentence on terrorism counts that even his lawyers, Barrister Aloy Ejimako and Barrister Maxwell Okwara, call a farce, shipped off to some god-forsaken hole in the Sokoto like yesterday's trash. It is not justice, it is erasure. Kanu's fight was never about bombs. Rather, it was about auditing the 3% derivation the oil states get while the East chokes on flares. But Abuja can't have that conversation, so they bury it under terrorism. And Ekpa, Simon Njoku, the firebrand in Finland, Finnish President Alexander Stubb nailed him in September with 6 years for inciting terror from afar. Tax fraud on the side, because why not? Nigeria hawks cheered it as vindication. But let's not kid ourselves. This was coordinated. Abuja leaned on Helsinki, shared intel, turned a diaspora agitator into a cautionary tale. Ekpa's no-nonsense approach almost left the government into a state of coma. So, jailing him abroad while Kanu rots in chains is theater designed to paint Biafran dreams as the ravings of madmen. I hope you are following me. Which brings us to the real God punch. Those so-called agents infiltrating the ranks. The IPOB Directorate of State, or DOS, Chika Edozieha and Chinasa Nkenworu, the self-appointed enforcer, who morphed from organizers into cabals, doling out commands like feudal laws and names like Ogechukwu Nkere, the Biafran American activist, who climbed to the acting prime minister in Ekpa's brigade shadow, only to get tangled in lawsuits over stolen databases and fraud, cloning websites to siphon funds from the desperate exiles. Then Ngozi Orabweze, the Atlanta-based doctor, also came in place, according to him, set up to declaring herself Deputy Prime Minister of the same United States of Biafra, suing and counter-suing in U.S. courts, peddling parallel governments that raved of greed. Which way forward, my people? That is the question. These aren't organic voices. They are the Charles agents, the plants who turn principled agitation into a circus. Ngozi Olabezes, according to them, in fighting that leaks into WhatsApp groups and poisons the world. Even this English, I'm confused. Whether they are truly Nigerian intel plans or just opportunists, the system breeds the effects. The same Biafra looks like a fever dream, a punchline for Abuja's propagandists. Remember the 1960s, Britain flooded Biafra with disinformation too. Fake relief flights, rumors of cannibalism to justify the blockade. History rhymes, doesn't it? Okay, let's move on. Now, Tinubu plots this United States of Nigeria, the name, echoing Wole Olanipeku's 2023 plea to ditch the Lugard label for something less mocking. It is clear optics. Evoke America's Federation, promised the devaluation without the messy details, but its lipstick is on the true restructuring. That means physical federalism, resort control, state police, not this half measure. The 2025 budget is a joke. 80% of the revenue are going to be used to service debts, while insecurity claims over 614,000 lives in just 2 years of Tinubu's administration. The Elders Benue's massacre in June alone displaced over 4,800, mostly women, and kills fleeing header militias. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, pegs growth at 3.4%, barely keeping pace with the population per capita, scrapping 1.3%. Anyoku Emeka, that wise old bird from the Commonwealth days, won it last July. Restructure or disintegrate, like Yugoslavia splintering into 7 because it ignored its tribes. India's federal glue had ours. It is frying. Moving forward. And yeah, the foreigners are meddling same as always. Britain, with its goals in the 1967 blockade, still whispers in the ears pushing unity to safeguard oil contracts. France, eyeing the Sahel coups from Niger to Mali, props up the status quo to keep jihadis at bay. But their fingerprints are on the ECOWAS fumbles that left Tinubu exposed. Even the U.S. Trump's crew rattling sabers in November over preparations for action, probably anti-Boko Haram ops. But it stokes the paranoia. They all want the contraption. In fact, Africa's giant market, a buffer against Charles. Anyway, in conclusion, let me not take much of your time. You can't beat the disintegration. You can't stop the disintegration, not with sentencings or the names of foreign strains. The youth in Lagos and Enugu aren't buying the script anymore. They are memeing it. Coding apps around blackout, plotting exits via Japa visas. The Southeast sit-at-homes aren't just protests. They are rehearsals for absence if Tinubu's had called a sovereign conference. Let the regions vote their futures through a peaceful referendum. Oduduwa, Biafra, Arewa, whatever shapes emerge. But power concedes nothing without demand. And the demands are rising. This United States gamble it. It is the empire's last gasp, a pretty flag over a rotting hull. The United States of Nigeria, the United States of America, the United States of Biafra. Biafra might yet rise from the ashes, not as a forced federation, but as a sovereign neighbors trading freely, healing old wounds. Until then, the unveiling just met. 3 million ghosts from 1967 plus today stole equals a bill coming due. And when it does, know the name will quiet the reckoning. Anyway, this is the message I brought to us this Tuesday morning. And I would like us to digest this message with every pinch of pinch of salt or pinch of insult. I beg anyway. TikTok help me complete my comment section. But the fact still remains that Nigeria have succumbed to what I call pressure of allowing Biafrans to go, just like the message I posted earlier. Nigerian government have already sanctioned, and also the United States of America have already also sanctioned the Biafran liberation. The independence it have been confirmed, signed, and sealed. We're only waiting for the announcement or the date will take place. But for now, everything is still intact. So have a nice day as you share this message, and at the same time like or comment. Please follow us on all our social media handles, and as you do that, may God Almighty continue to bless you, prosper you, and meet you at every point of your need. Have a nice day. Kachineke mezioku.